let's get to the playoff picture. We're not that time of year. We're a month away. The name of this episode is called "And Down the Stretch We Come" because we're down the last month of the year. Which conference we go first, Kyle?
Shit, you're doing this again.
Yeah, this is fun.
Let's get the NFC out of the way, I think. Because the answer to everything is the Niners are good. Who cares?
Cocky fan.
Hey,
all right, so NFC first.
Cocky until Trent Williams gets hurt, buddy. You know this.
Absolutely. San Fran 1 right now. Cowboys 2, Lions 3, Bucks 4. We've had a different leader. We've had a different leader of this NFC South for the last 3 weeks. In the last 3 weeks, 1 week was the Falcons, then was the Saints, and now it's the Buccaneers. Unbelievable. Wild card right now is Eagles to 5, Vikings to 6, 7 Packers. Lost last night to the Giants. Now, real quick, all the chaos is in the bottom at this point. We know that already.
No shots here.
The only race on top really have here is the 1 seed.
Let's not go too crazy with all the chaos. Listen, that number 2 seed, that top seed. I mean, let's call it what it is. If the Niners misstep, the top is still pretty competitive. We don't know the road through the conference yet. We don't.
I will go so far as to say that all the pressure is on the Niners because they have a tougher schedule between them and the Eagles.
Okay, so let's build on that. Like
there's a Super Bowl preview possibility on that Niners schedule in a few weeks. You know that, right?
I don't have it in front of me yet, so you're kind of
the other 1 seed in the other conference is playing you guys in 2 weeks or 1 week from now, whatever the hell that game is.
Bro, come on, stop.
Ravens and Niners. Ravens and Niners.
Oh, I thought you were saying. Oh yeah, right, because the Dolphins did bad.
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Raiders Niners is going to be a hell of a football game, and there's a great. It's perfect that it's on Christmas night.
Yeah, give it Ravens Niners. No, Niners schedule. You have it in front of you. Let me bring it up for you.
But the rest of them, it's the Cards, Commies, and like the Rams, right. Who the Niners always seem to play pretty well,
no matter what, right?
So
the Niners. We said earlier the Eagles' schedule is cake. They should win all 40 games.
It really is. Niners, like I would argue that the Niners' schedule's most difficult game is more difficult because it's Baltimore, but the fact that they have 3 easy NFC teams to just basically put away the conference and secure the tiebreak on the Eagles. Like the Eagles cannot misstep, and they more likely won't. I would argue their low goes lower, right? Because it's the Giants twice. And after that emotional win over the Packers.
Yeah, I know. I would argue the Niners can't hiccup once. The one hiccup by the Niners could be the end of it, and the Eagles still number 1 seed because the Eagles went out there by record. Because the record.
No. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's 1-3.
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is you're guaranteeing a 14-win Eagles team. That's what you're doing.
Based on the optics, yeah. Where do you see a loss?
No, don't qualify it. Yes or bleeping no.
I expect it. Yes, I expect them to go 14-3. Yes.
Okay, I like that word better. You're expecting a 14-win Eagles team.
Yeah. In fact, I'll go far. Back to our earlier topic, we said a little while ago. If the Eagles lose another game in the rest of the year, that pennant meter goes from a 2 to a 6.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know
I didn't argue with that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you shouldn't lose those games. Like I said, Lions should lock in a 3 spot going forward, barring any catastrophe.
I mean, you shouldn't lose to the Patriots either, but that's on on the Steelers. But anyways.
All right, so the wild card, obviously, the loser of the NFC East will get the 5 seed. We know that already. That's pretty much going to be set in stone. Here's the chaos. So right now, the playoffs are today 6 and 7, the Vikings and Packers. If I'm not mistaken, these 2 teams don't play each other the rest of the year. If I'm not mistaken, I think.
Wait, I missed what you said. Which 2 teams?
Right now, 6 and 7 are the Vikings and Packers. The wild card. Okay. And right now is 7-6 Vikings, 6 and 7 Packers.
The Vikings, because the Vikings have 2 games against the Lions.
Yes.
And
is there a Green Bay game in there also?
Packers in Week 17. So they got 3 division games to wrap after facing Jake Browning.
Right. Same record as the Packers 6 and 7. You got the Rams at 6 and 7 and as the 8. You have the Seahawks falling apart in 9, and then the Falcons right now 6 and 7 to 10. The Saints also 6 and 7 to 11 seed. This for the sake of argument, the Giants are 12 at 5 and 8.
There's no argument. Stop it. The Eagles are going to eliminate them single-handedly by beating.
I agree with 100%. And not only that, you're asking them to leapfrog like 4 different teams to get into the conversation. So that's a lot.
In the words of Dwayne Johnson, "Shut up, bitch."
Yeah, Bears also 5-8, but come on now.
What do we do? Stop it.
So let's lock some things up here. I'm still locking the Niners as the NFC East, NFC West champions. That's not a problem. Obviously, the NFC East, nope, leaving it alone. Okay, I should say NFC East Eagles still because if I say 14 wins, fuck it, I'm locking the East for the Eagles because they still don't lose another game this year. NFC North, I'm locking the Lions, and then after that, wild card, you take. You know what, bro? I don't give a shit. I know I said the Packers, and I know they lost last night. I'm still locking the Packers as a wild card team.
Well, let the record show that I have the Packers and Vikings both as 8-win teams. If that holds, which with both their schedules it could, it's very plausible the Vikings don't win another game.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They played the Bengals this week, don't they?
They play the Bengals on the 16th. Yes.
Yeah, Bengals, Lions twice, and oh my God, you're right. Bengals, Lions twice, and Packers. Yep.
Which would lock them in at 7. And if they split the Lions, that means the Lions win 10, but the Vikings meet that 8-win expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with the Packers, I have them winning 8 games as well, which I was seen as an internal optimist at the time I did that. If they split with the Vikings, if they lose to the Vikings, which I don't think they will, they have the Bucks, Panthers. Good God. They have the Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, and Bears remaining. They could very well finish with 12 wins. It's very fascinating stuff that the Lions could actually decide this damn schedule with a late game again.
By the way, sneaky big game this weekend too. I don't know if Jim added to the list of games for our Huddle Up podcast tonight. Bucks Packers this week. Sneaky big game. Both 6 and 7. Just saying. So the reason why I like the Packers to get in the playoffs is this. Now, and granted, it looks bad saying it's now the day after losing to the Giants. The schedule is pretty favorable still. You got Bucks at home this coming Sunday, at Carolina, at Minnesota, and then Chicago at home. I feel like 9 wins the lock to get into the playoffs. A lock.
I think you'll need 10 to do it in that division.
Oh, 10 is the definite lock. 10 means you're
secure. What I'm telling you is 10 win because of the weakness of the remaining Packers schedule. Mm-hmm. I think anybody who's going to compete with the Pack for that North team needs 10 wins. Period. Point blank. End of story.
Right. Okay. The Rams, other team I'm looking at really strongly. Great performance against the Ravens in a loss.
Yeah.
Some will argue they should have won that game.
Yeah.
Their schedule is, other than San Francisco week 18, their schedule is actually very, very favorable.
Unfortunately, their tiebreaker situation is not.
Well, they got over Seattle. I know that. They beat Seattle twice this year, so that I know they have over.
Excuse me, I have it backwards. The divisional record's the deciding factor there.
Okay, so Rams schedule: Commanders should win that game, but you never know. Saints at home. These 2 games are at home. Commanders, Saints at home in the next 2 weeks. At Giants, and then the Niners on the road, which the Niners might not even need that game. Who knows?
I mean, 4-0. See, the problem with the Rams is as much as 4-0 is on the table for the reason you just described, that the Niners might not even need it. The 4-0 is on the table, but so too is 0-4. This team, right. And I said it. Excuse me, and I said it talking to the judge himself, Mr. Mathis, when previewing this division in July. This is the most difficult team to predict out of all of them because Stafford's status, this O-line, all of it is beyond understanding.
And the season's played out as such.
Well,
Your
obviously.
concerns about this team is literally the 6 and 7. So
I'll put it this way: I had the Rams winning 7 games all
they're
year,
almost there. They're almost there.
and that still could happen. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got 6, so them going 1-3 to make me correct is still very much on the board.
Yeah. Seattle. So I play Philadelphia this week. The rest of their schedule, I don't know if it's easy though. But they haven't looked good last. I mean, they fought against Niners this past week.
Eagles, so we know that.
Eagles, Titans. You saw that Titans game out yesterday. How they're frisky as hell.
No, they're not.
Okay.
No,
Steelers.
They didn't win.
So Seahawks schedule kind of interesting here because after this week it's Philadelphia Monday Night Football at home.
They're playing the Titans.
At
they might
Tennessee.
They're going to be playing Trubisky.
Right. Or Rudolph. We'll see. Then go figure. Rudolph Reynolds reindeer on Christmas Eve. Who knows? Then you have the Steelers at home, and then the Cardinals on the road. So Seattle's schedule is kind of
you said little Steelers twice, buddy.
I'm sorry. So Titans. So Eagles, Titans, Steelers, and then Cardinals on the road. Right.
So basically, after Jalen Hurts, it's teams with bad quarterbacks.
And for Seattle, I know I was kind of hard on them last week after losing to Dallas, and I'll say, oh, they're done.
After you jinxed them, right?
Even though they lost to San Francisco this weekend, they did get some help. Rams lost, Packers lost.
Yeah.
Vikings schedule is tough. So they are still in the mix. I will still say that I'm taking the Packers over them, but I can't rule out the Seahawks this yet.
I had the snap. Hold on. I had the Seahawks finishing with 10 wins and being second place in the division.
That's over. Well, I mean, it's still no, they can still win 10 games. They got to go win out the rest of the year, though.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but
okay. Then Falcons and Saints. I mean, obviously, these two teams, I don't see them getting the wild card. I think they'll get in as a division winner if they even do that. So
yeah, they'll be hosting. It'll be the second straight year the NFC South has hosted with a losing record.
And you hate that, don't you? I
absolutely do.
All right, AFC. Third and 1 seed now in the AFC. We got the Ravens, 10-3. 2 seed, despite the loss last night. The Dolphins, a 2 seed. 3 are the Chiefs. 4 are the Jaguars. 5 Browns, 8-5. Big win against the Jaguars on Sunday. 6 seed got the Steelers at 7-6, but fading. Probably rough 2 weeks of Steelers. You lose at home to both the Cardinals and the fucking Patriots. What's wrong with you? And then 7 the Colts with a tough loss to the Bengals. I'll be honest with you, like the Browns.
I have to be honest. Can we give the Bengals some credit rather than pooping on the Colts?
Oh no! This is what I said last week. They're live. So hold up last week.
They're more than live. They're looking good doing it. Like Jake Browning coming out and launching it all over Everbank Stadium for the first Monday Night Football game in nearly 12 years, rather, wasn't just an anomaly. The Colts aren't a horrible team, and he did great again.
I'll be honest with you. I'm still even despite the losses, even though Dolphins lost, Chiefs lost, Jaguars lost this week, I'm still locking all 4 division winners.
Okay.
You feel the same way or no?
Yeah, absolutely. The other teams around them in their division are struggling way too much. And the reason why I'm sticking with the Jags as I have throughout, picking them to win the division at 10 wins back in late August, not only did they lose, so too did the Colts and Texans to keep the Jags up in the lead. So
the chaos begins from 5 down, really 6 down. The Browns did themselves a lot of favors by winning that game against the Jaguars.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. And they're scheduled to end the year. Chicago, we got Bears at home, at Texans, then Jets at home, and then the Bengals. Woo! A team they own, actually, for the record. They seem to have owned that team for the last 3 years.
Well, they own Joe Burrow. Let's see if Jake Browning's something different.
But it's safe to say 10 is the lock. 10 is the absolute magic number. Do you see 2 more wins in the Browns in the schedule?
You mean 10 to make a playoff game? Yeah, that's typically it. Do I see 2 wins? Yeah, absolutely, I do.
Okay, so fair enough. So I'm okay at this point locking the Browns up. Joe Flacco has been really good with his team last week. I don't know how it's happened.
I've said it on this show. I've said it on the Duval Dive. Joe Flacco, if nothing else, is an upgrade. Do you have to be excited? No. Do you have to think he's a good quarterback? No. But he's better than when he had, and he was enough of a veteran to make use of the Jags' shortcomings with injury at home in a game that they only won by a score, right?
Right. And, again, he's the experienced quarterback. He just get the job done. I mean,
And by the way, I'll say it out loud. The Browns and Jets should be enough for the the Bears and the Jets should be enough for the Browns to get their 10 wins.
Yeah, totally with you on that one. Steelers 6, Colts 7. I don't know if this holds. I don't feel good about what the Steelers holding this spot. I really don't. Houston, that's a tough loss. So here's the bubble right now in the AFC. This is where it gets really, really, really interesting. So you got 7-6 Steelers, 7-6 Colts. That's 6-7.
Well, and
then you got
the Colts play each other. The Colts and Steelers play each other Saturday, so there's that.
Correct. That is correct. 8 Texans, 9 Broncos, 10 Bengals, 11 Bills. All also 7-6.
The Steelers are going to drop out.
Yep.
I'm going to call them immediately just because their schedule is relatively difficult.
And their schedule is the fact that they don't have a quarterback.
That too, but the schedule doesn't help.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to whether or not the Texans pass the Colts because they play each other in week 18.
They do.
And relative to that, the Texans have the easier schedule. I think they could beat the Browns depending on the health of all the teams involved. But they also get to play the Titans twice, the Texans.
So let me read you off the Colts schedule real quick. You mentioned the Steelers at home on Saturday. Then at Atlanta, the Raiders, and then in Texas, you mentioned Texans. So we said 10 wins is the lock. So can you find 3 wins in the schedule?
You can, but I think it's gonna. What could happen is you have. That's going to be interesting. You could have 3 teams in the AFC South with 10 wins, and one of them's going to go home.
Yep.
Because the Texans have the tiebreak on the Colts.
Right. Now the Texans, meanwhile, they're on the bubble team on 8. What's their schedule looking like?
It's easier by comparison. I mean, the Browns are the tougher one, and then they have the Titans twice. They're going to beat the Titans twice. They're going to sweep the Titans. They may lose to the Browns, but I think they win the final game against the Colts because they have their starting quarterback and the Colts don't.
I'll tell you what, though, that CJ Stroud concussion protocol thing, huge.
Huge deal. Huge situation. Still playing the Titans. Not confident. The Titans are worse. They're absolutely terrible. Crooked
Hillary.
crooked mayonnaise Levis.
Anyway. The Broncos, all 7-6. They their schedule is I know they got to play Minnesota. No, is it Minnesota this week? Hold on. No, Detroit. Sorry, same division though.
Right.
Their schedule is if they get through this game against Detroit unscathed, their last 3 games, all gimmies, in my opinion.
I mean,
Patriots.
You'll pardon the pun, but the Broncos are the wild card here, right? Whether or not you see 3 AFC South teams will depend on the Broncos and the tie breaks.
Because if they can get through, they can get to 10 wins without winning this game against Detroit. Because the last 3 games of the year, Patriots, Chargers, all at home, and then at Raiders.
Most importantly, all AFC wins that they could rack up to finish strong for tie breaks.
Correct. So they can get 10 wins themselves. Let's see the Bengals here real quick. Bengals schedule coming up.
The Bengals schedule is far more difficult.
Oh, got ya. Minnesota this week, must win both teams. Absolutely must win both teams here. At Steelers, they should win that game with the way they're playing right now.
I think the Steelers I think the Vikings and Bengals are both non-factors. They're just going to see this game I'm going to dub the delaying of the inevitable. Whoever wins is doing only that.
Right. Steelers. So Vikings at home, Steelers on the road, at Kansas City, and then the Browns. Tougher schedule. They are live, but tougher schedule of the 2. Buffalo's schedule, I know off the top of my head. Buffalo is, to me, is the best team of the bubble teams here, in my opinion. Some of the most upside. Cowboys this week.
Highest floor, highest ceiling, lowest floor.
So Cowboys for them this week. Then they got to play the Chargers, Patriots, and Dolphins to end the year.
I think the Dolphins send them home.
Okay. So they're out. Buffalo gave up too many games this year this is why I love the NFL, man, because I got laughed at for saying this week 1.
And rightly so.
They missed the playoffs because of a tiebreaker, because of that. These are the games to look at. You should win that Jet game. You should win this game. You should win that game.
Well, I mean, losing a game in week 1 to Zach Wilson, it's still not a must win, so stop it.
So I'm not going to ask you for a lock, but I'm going to ask you for how does your wild card, not locking them up, just saying how would your wild card look like right now if you had to pick right now, your 3 wild card teams?
I think I said it was I said it earlier. It's the Texans. It's the
Browns.
Yes, Browns, Texans, Broncos. And Colts fans get pissed.
Yeah. I'm going to go Browns, Broncos as a 6 seed. Because they can win out. I mean, if they beat Detroit, they'll sail to fucking 11 wins probably at that point. I'm going to go Browns, Broncos, and shit. I want to go Buffalo or Cincy, man, but that schedule's just tough.
Say the Texans. Get it done. Just say the Texans.
I gotta. Well, assuming CJ Stroud's healthy this week, because
he doesn't need to be healthy. They're playing the Titans.
After we saw last night, I don't want to hear that shit. So
stop it.
But I will go Texans because of that, though. Just because of that, because of the schedule. But if he doesn't play this week, and they lose to Tennessee, they're fucked.
Well, obviously, that's a completely different scenario now, isn't it? A lot.
Every game, brother. Every game going forward for these teams are must wins now. Every game. Just saying. So I'll go Texas to 7 seed because I think CJ will play this week and they will beat Tennessee. So that's that. But yeah, that's a very long breakdown of the playoff schedule. Dude, this is gonna be this is one of the most wildest wild card situations in a month we've seen in years, really.
And yet you still think you could define me in my picks. Oh no, wait! Right. You actually matched me. You learned your lesson. Never mind.
Which one? On what?
No. You ended up picking the Texans. So you
no, because I wanted to go Cincy and Buffalo,
but you can't.
But the schedules don't shake out that way.
I know. That's the whole reason I picked the Chargers back in 16, buddy. It's because the schedule shook out that way.
Now, if CJ Stroud's out for this week against Tennessee, that's we gotta look at that Tennessee game a little more emboldened.
Listen. Jeffrey Simmons, I believe, is supposed to be out for Tennessee as well. That's a bigger deal.
Okay.